Welcome to Growth Mindset Success, where your journey to personal excellence begins. Here, we unlock powerful ideas and timeless wisdom from the world's most influential books on success, mindset, and motivation. In a fast-paced world, you need guidance that inspires and equips you to act, improve, and rise. That's what we deliver. No fluff, just value. Whether you're an entrepreneur, dreamer, or seeker of clarity and purpose, you're in the right place. So sit back, relax, and get ready to grow. If you find value, don't forget to subscribe for weekly book summaries that unlock your full potential. Let's dive in. Introduction. George S. Clason's classic, The Richest Man in Babylon, is a timeless guide to financial wisdom. Delivered through engaging parables set in the ancient city of Babylon. First published in 1926, the book imparts practical lessons on money management, saving, investing, and building wealth. Clason emphasizes simple yet powerful principles, such as living below your means, paying yourself first, making your money work for you, and seeking wise counsel. This first part of the explanation highlights the opening parables, which lay the foundation for financial discipline and the pursuit of prosperity. Money is the medium by which earthly success is measured. Money makes possible the enjoyment of the best the earth affords. Money is plentiful for those who understand the simple laws which govern its acquisition. Money is governed today by the same laws which controlled it when prosperous men thronged the streets of Babylon 6,000 years ago. Money is plentiful for those who understand the simple rules of its acquisition. Start thy purse to fattening. Control thy expenditures. Make thy gold multiply. Guard thy treasures from loss. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. Ensure a future income. Increase thy ability to earn. The Richest Man in Babylon. What can a book written in the 1920s tell modern investors about their finances? A whole lot, if it is George Clason's delightful set of parables that explain the basics of money. This is a great gift for a graduate or anyone who seems baffled by the world of finance, and a wonderful, refreshing read for even the most experienced investor. Los Angeles Times. Ahead of you stretches your future, like a road leading into the distance. Along that road are ambitions you wish to accomplish and desires you wish to gratify. To bring your ambitions and desires to fulfillment, you must be successful with money. Use the financial principles made clear in the pages that follow. Let them guide you away from the stringency of a lean purse to that fuller, happier life a full purse makes possible. Like the law of gravity, these laws of money are universal and unchanging. May they prove to be for you, as they have proven to so many others, a sure key to a fat purse, larger bank balances, and gratifying financial progress. Our prosperity as a nation depends upon the personal financial prosperity of each of us as individuals. This book deals with the personal successes of each of us. Success means accomplishments as the result of our own efforts and abilities. Proper preparation is the key to our success. Our acts can be no wiser than our thoughts. Our thinking can be no wiser than our understanding. This book of cures for lean purses has been termed a guide to financial understanding. That, indeed, is its purpose, to offer those who are ambitious for financial success an insight which will aid them to acquire money, to keep money, and to make their surpluses earn more money. In the pages which follow, we are taken back to Babylon, the cradle in which was nurtured the basic principles of finance now recognized and used the world over. To new readers, the author is happy to extend the wish that its pages may contain for them the same inspiration for growing bank accounts, greater financial successes, and the solution of difficult personal financial problems, so enthusiastically reported by readers from coast to coast. To the business executives who have distributed these tales in such generous quantities to friends, relatives, employees, and associates, the author takes this opportunity to express his gratitude. No endorsement could be higher than that of practical men who appreciate its teachings, because they themselves have worked up to important successes by applying the very principles it advocates. Babylon became the wealthiest city of the ancient world, because its citizens were the richest people of their time. They appreciated the value of money. They practiced sound financial principles in acquiring money, keeping money, and making their money earn more money. They provided for themselves what we all desire, incomes for the future. Bansir, the chariot builder of Babylon, was thoroughly discouraged. From his seat upon the low wall surrounding his property, he gazed sadly at his simple home and the open workshop in which stood a partially completed chariot. His wife frequently appeared at the open door. Her furtive glances in his direction reminded him that the meal bag was almost empty and he should be at work finishing the chariot, hammering and hewing, polishing and painting, stretching taut the leather over the wheel rims, preparing it for delivery so he could collect from his wealthy customer. Nevertheless, his fat, muscular body sat stolidly upon the wall. His slow mind was struggling patiently with a problem for which he could find no answer. The hot tropical sun, so typical of this valley of the Euphrates, beat down upon him mercilessly. Beads of perspiration formed upon his brow and trickled down unnoticed to lose themselves in the hairy jungle on his chest. Beyond his home towered the high terraced walls surrounding the king's palace. Nearby, cleaving the blue heavens, was the painted tower of the Temple of Bel. In the shadow of such grandeur was his simple home, and many others far less neat and well cared for. Babylon was like this, a mixture of grandeur and squalor, of dazzling wealth and direst poverty, crowded together without plan or system within the protecting walls of the city. Behind him, had he cared to turn and look, the noisy chariots of the rich jostled and crowded aside the sandal tradesmen, as well as the barefooted beggars. Even the rich were forced to turn into the gutters to clear the way for the long lines of slave water carriers on the king's business, each bearing a heavy goatskin of water to be poured upon the hanging gardens. Bansir was too engrossed in his own problem to hear or heed the confused hubbub of the busy city. It was the unexpected twanging of the strings from a familiar lyre that aroused him from his reverie. He turned and looked into the sensitive, smiling face of his best friend, Kabi the musician. "May the gods bless thee with great liberality, my good friend," began Kabi with an elaborate salute. "Yet it does appear they have already been so generous thou needest not to labor. I rejoice with thee in thy good fortune. More, I would even share it with thee. Pray from thy purse, which must be bulging, else thou wouldst be busy in yon shop. Extract but 2 humble shekels, and lend them to me until after the nobleman's feast this night. Thou wilt not miss them ere they are returned." "If I did have 2 shekels," Bansir responded gloomily, "to no one could I lend them, not even to you, my best of friends, for they would be my fortune, my entire fortune. No one lends his entire fortune, not even to his best friend." "What?" exclaimed Kabi with genuine surprise. "Thou hast not 1 shekel in thy purse, yet sit like a statue upon a wall. Why not complete that chariot? How else canst thou provide for thy noble appetite? 'Tis not like thee, my friend. Where is thy endless energy? Doth something distress thee? Have the gods brought to thee troubles?" "A torment from the gods it must be," Bansir agreed. "It began with a dream, a senseless dream, in which I thought I was a man of means. From my belt hung a handsome purse, heavy with coins. There were shekels which I cast with careless freedom to the beggars. There were pieces of silver with which I did buy finery for my wife, and whatever I did desire for myself. There were pieces of gold which made me feel assured of the future and unafraid to spend the silver. A glorious feeling of contentment was within me. You would not have known me for thy hard-working friend, nor wouldst thou have known my wife. So free from wrinkles was her face and shining with happiness. She was again the smiling maiden of our early married days." "A pleasant dream, indeed," commented Kabi. "But why should such pleasant feelings as it aroused turn thee into a glum statue upon the wall?" "Why, indeed? Because when I awoke and remembered how empty was my purse, a feeling of rebellion swept over me. Let us talk it over together, for, as the sailors do say, we ride in the same boat, we two. As youngsters, we went together to the priests to learn wisdom. As young men, We shared each other's pleasures. As grown men, we have always been close friends. We have been contented subjects of our kind. We have been satisfied to work long hours and spend our earnings freely. We have earned much coin in the years that have passed, yet to know the joys that come from wealth, we must dream about them. Bah, are we more than dumb sheep? We live in the richest city in all the world. The travelers do say none equals it in wealth. About us is much display of wealth, but of it we ourselves have not. After half a lifetime of hard labor, thou, my best of friends, hast an empty purse and sayest to me, may I borrow such a trifle as 2 shekels until after the nobleman's feast this night? Then, what do I reply? Do I say, here is my purse, its contents will I gladly share? No, I admit that my purse is as empty as thine. What is the matter? Why cannot we acquire silver and gold, more than enough for food and robes? Consider also our sons, Bansir continued. Are they not following in the footsteps of their fathers? Need they and their families and their sons families live all their lives in the midst of such treasures of gold, and yet, like us, be content to banquet upon sour goat's milk and porridge? Never, in all the years of our friendship, didst thou talk like this before, Bansir. Kabi was puzzled. Never in all those years did I think like this before. From early dawn until darkness stopped me, I have labored to build the finest chariots any man could make, soft-heartedly hoping someday the gods would recognize my worthy deeds and bestow upon me great prosperity. This they have never done. At last, I realize this they will never do. Therefore, my heart is sad. I wish to be a man of means. I wish to own lands and cattle, to have fine robes and coins in my purse. I am willing to work for these things with all the strength in my back, with all the skill in my hands, with all the cunning in my mind. But I wish my labors to be fairly rewarded. What is the matter with us? Again I ask you, why cannot we have our just share of the good things so plentiful for those who have the gold with which to buy them? Would I know an answer? Kabi replied, no better than thou am I satisfied. My earnings from my lyre are quickly gone. Often must I plan and scheme that my family be not hungry. Also within my breast is a deep longing for a lyre large enough that it may truly sing the strains of music that do surge through my mind. With such an instrument could I make music finer than even the king has heard before. Such a lyre thou shouldst have. No man in all Babylon could make it sing more sweetly, could make it sing so sweetly. Not only the king but the gods themselves would be delighted. But how mayest thou secure it while we both of us are as poor as the king's slaves? Listen to the bell. Here they come. He pointed to the long column of half-naked, sweating water-bearers plodding laboriously up the narrow street from the river. 5 abreast they marched, each bent under a heavy goatskin of water. A fine figure of a man, he who doth lead them. Kabi indicated the wearer of the bell, who marched in front without a load. A prominent man in his own country, 'tis easy to see. There are many skilled men in the line, Bansir agreed, as capable as we. Tall men from the north, laughing men from the south, smaller men from nearby lands, all moving together from the river to the gardens, back and forth, day after day, year after year. Little joy to look forward to, simple beds upon which to rest, plain porridge to eat. Pity the poor fellows, Kabi. Pity them I do, yet thou dost make me see how little better off are we, free men though we call ourselves. That is true, Kabi, an unpleasant thought though it be. We do not wish to go on year after year living without purpose, working, making little progress. Might we not find out how others gain wealth and follow their example? Kabi inquired. Perhaps there is some knowledge we might gain if we but seek it from those who understand, replied Bansir thoughtfully. This very day, suggested Kabi, I passed our old friend, Arkad, riding in his golden chariot. I must say, he did not look down on me as many in his position might. Instead, he waved so that all might see him extend greetings, and a friendly smile toward Kabi, the musician. He is said to be the wealthiest man in all Babylon, Bansir mused. So wealthy that even the king is said to call upon him for advice in financial matters, Kabi replied. So wealthy, Bansir interrupted. I fear if I met him at night, I might be tempted to take his purse. Nonsense, rejoined Kabi. A man's wealth is not in the purse he carries. A purse quickly empties if there is no steady source to fill it. Arkad has an income that keeps flowing, no matter how freely he spends. Income, that is the thing, exclaimed Bansir. I wish for a source of income that will keep coming whether I sit idly or travel to distant lands. Arkad must know how a man can create such a source of income. Think you he could explain it to a mind like mine? I believe he did teach his son. No, monsieur, Kabi responded. Did he not go to Nineveh, and, it is said, become one of the wealthiest men there without his father's help? Kabi, thou bringest to me a new thought. A spark lit in Bansir's eyes. It costs nothing to ask for advice from a wise friend. Arkad was always that. Never mind that our purses are nearly empty. Let that not stop us. We are tired of being without resources in the midst of plenty. We wish to become prosperous. Let us go to Arkad and ask how we too may secure a steady income. Thou speakest with true insight, Bansir. Thou bringest a new understanding to me. Thou showest why we have never found lasting prosperity. We never sought it. Thou worked diligently to build the finest chariots in Babylon, and in that thou didst succeed. I strove to become a skilled lyre player, and in that I did succeed. In those things to which we gave our full effort, we succeeded. Now, at last, we see a new light, bright as the rising sun. It bids us to learn more so that we may thrive. With this understanding, we can find honorable ways to achieve our goals. Let us go to Arkad today, Bansir urged. Also, let us invite other friends from our boyhood days, who have fared no better than ourselves, to join us so that they, too, may benefit from his knowledge. Thou hast ever been thoughtful of thy friends, Bansir. That is why thou hast many friends. It shall be as thou sayest. We go this day and take them with us. The wealthiest man in Babylon. In old Babylon there once lived a man named Arkad, known far and wide for his great wealth. He was also known for his generosity. He was giving in charity, caring for his family, and mindful in his personal spending. Yet each year his wealth increased more than he spent. Certain friends from his younger days came to him and said, "You, Arkad, have been more fortunate than we. You have become the wealthiest man in all Babylon while we continue to struggle. You can wear fine garments and enjoy rare foods, while we are grateful if we can clothe our families properly and feed them adequately. Once, however, we were equal. We studied under the same master. We played the same games. And at that time, you did not surpass us in skill or knowledge. In the years since, you have been no more deserving than we, nor have you worked more diligently than we can tell. Why, then, should life reward you so abundantly and leave us with so little?" Arkad replied gently, "If you have not gained more than a basic living since our youth, it is because you either have not learned the principles that guide the creation of wealth, or you have not followed them. Fortune is not a reliable guide and does not provide lasting benefit to anyone. Often it is given to those who do not know how to manage it wisely, and they soon find themselves back where they started. True growth comes to those who understand and apply the proper principles of earning and managing resources."